Hello and welcome to Wildly Curious, a podcast that tells you everything you need to know about nature and probably more than you wanted to know. I'm Laura.
And I'm Katy. And oh my gosh, is this going to be the episode?
Here.
It is here. So if you guys listened to our last full episode, we did dinosaurs just in general, which I'd been waiting so long to do. Why we waited so long, I don't know, to talk about them. But now, we gave you guys a teaser then last week at the end of the Cosmic Critter episode for what this was going to be. And so today, this is another part of the series of the Could You series that we've done through all of the seasons.
Yep.
And it's Could You Train That? And we're talking about dinosaurs. What could you train that? So Laura and I are each going to talk about a dinosaur and then what we would/could train it for.
Which it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I mean, the could use and the would use and whatever, like, those are
always ridiculous.
Always
yeah, but this one in particular, I am so excited for. However.
They're always based in science, though, guys.
They are.
This is the best part of science where if you take it just a little bit too far.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course. But I will say, I've been texting Laura all week because I think I have 2 bits of nature news that
she's freaking teasing me all week. Oh, you're not going to believe this. And then just won't tell me.
Because you're not going to believe it. So I have two things that are updates to previous episodes that we've actually done.
All right.
For our nature news. So this first one is just a pure update. The second one is an update with clarification with nature news with an extra update. So it's like layered, all right? So here's the first update, all right?
This is the one that's not going to blow my mind as much? Or
no, it is. I think it is. Not that this first one is just interesting. So in our Freshwater Freaks episode, we talked about how the Arapaima scales are essentially the same strength as reinforced steel.
Yes.
And we brought
more than that. They were higher than that.
Higher,
right?
Yeah. And then we brought up, oh my gosh, how would you fillet a fish like that?
Yes, we did.
I got the answer. So I reached out to the gar guy himself, Dr. Solomon David of the University of Minnesota, for some answers. Nice. Follow him on social media. He's pretty much on everything. If you guys don't already, Dr. Solomon David. If you don't, he's a great guy. All the gar facts and all kinds of interesting things that you can think of. So
we also talked about gar in that episode.
Yeah, yep. So make sure you guys follow him. But he said, typically, you use a hatchet or a machete to fillet the fish.
Well, duh.
Right? So it's like you go to a family home barbecue and you have to machete your dinner.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny because I was like, okay, cool. Because you can't use a knife, but you literally have to use like a hatchet or a machete to get through either a gar or Arapaima. Yeah.
That's cool.
So and that's a legitimate answer to what we were wondering. So that's update 1. The second one, this is where it's cool. So let's go back to then our bioluminescence episode from last season.
Yeah.
All right. So I do think we need to clarify one thing first before I get into the nature news. So bioluminescence versus biofluorescence.
Right, which we did kind of bring up for a second.
Yeah, for a split second. Bioluminescence is what primarily we talked about, and that's when the organism produces its own light through a chemical reaction or other various reaction. Fireflies, the deep sea anglerfish that we talked about. So it's light that is generated inside their bodies
through chemical processes.
Through a chemical process, and it doesn't need an external light source. That's kind of the whole point of it.
Right.
What we didn't talk much about, though, was the biofluorescence, all right? That's the other part of this. And it's when an organism absorbs light and then can re-emit it as a different color, essentially.
Dude, if you are about to tell me...
Wait. Just wait.
Okay.
Pause. So, it needs an external light source, like the sunlight or UV light to glow. And it's like scorpions, neon corals, some sharks, frogs, things like that.
So many things biofluoresce.
Yeah. However, this is where the nature news comes in a groundbreaking discovery recently, like literally last week. Scientists, that's February of 2025, scientists have found that certain species of birds of paradise exhibit a unique form of biofluorescence. So in the Journal of the Royal Society Open Science, just literally, like I said, last week, it was published that researchers examined prepared specimens housed at the American Museum of Natural History and found evidence of biofluorescence in 37 of 45 birds of paradise species,
Wow.
which is a lot. So
Yeah.
it's pretty much all of them do. So one of the researchers, Renee Martin, said that what they're doing, the birds are, is taking this UV color, which like they can't necessarily
Our eyes can't
see.
Yeah.
And then they re-emit it at a wavelength that is actually visible to their eyes. So they obviously can't see that wavelength coming in, but they've evolved in such a way that they can then push like that color back out from their body, and it ends up being like a bright green or like a green yellow color.
Ooh. Wait, is that the... No, because that's a different bird that does like the... Like puts up its... Yeah.
And it's all black?
Like it's... Yeah, all black, but with green...
This is
like,
it.
Has like a... Oh, okay.
But
But we
that's
didn't know
one
they
of them.
glowed before. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know it. Yeah, we didn't know it
Because it
biofluoresced.
definitely looks like, woo, green.
Yeah. And so it talks about in that art or in this research and everything that one that is the one that's really, really black with like the blue.
Yes.
Like
yes.
that is like ultra black. No, it freaking lights up.
Wow,
and so
that's cool.
Right? And so to the bird, so they're taking in UV light. We can't see it, but
Yeah.
whenever they export
With the
it,
structures that they've got. Yeah.
yeah, whenever they
their
send it
feathers.
off, the bird they put it off in such a way that other birds of paradise can see it.
Yeah.
Which is
So
fascinating.
it's literally just a neon sign of do me.
Yes, exactly. No, that's literally what it is.
Yeah,
Literally what it is.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But here's where I'm like, Gah!
What?
All right.
How
So
can
I
this
bring all of this up because in that episode, I had made a comment. And while yes, like it's really cool nature news that birds of paradise glow and everything, in that episode, I said and I made a comment of how much cooler bats would be if they glowed. They do. Yes, right. So they do. So a study recently came out in 2024, in early 2024, from the National University of Mexico and University of Texas, hook 'em, found that certain bat species, such as the Mexican free-tailed bat that we have here in Texas, exhibit biofluorescence.
Dude, that's cool.
When exposed to UV light, the bristly hairs on their toes emit a bright turquoise and blue glow. What? Yes, so this phenomenon was first observed by researchers using UV fluorescent powder to track bats, leading to the unexpected discovery of their glowing toe bristles.
Toes.
Just the toe bristles. The
Okay, so
exact
UV light is only done. So UV light only exists during the daytime, right? It's from the sun.
So they're basically charging during the day.
While they're sleeping,
Yes.
their toes are charging
Essentially,
because they're facing
yes.
towards the sun.
Yes, essentially. Yeah. To where they come out at night and it's just like glowing toe hairs. Just toe hairs. Now I knew
So
what's in
random.
right. Now I did know. So whenever you talk about bats, all right, especially here in the United States, we have the white-nosed bat syndrome, and I know that fungus biofluorescent has a biofluorescence. So you can go in with a UV light in caves, and if you see all their little heads, that's how a lot of scientists were being like, this population has white-nosed bat syndrome. We need to either quarantine it off, whatever kind of thing. And so that, and then as again, they were tracking these bats, started putting UV powder on them. Then they were like, hang on a second. That's when they realized they're a little, they already have built-in UV.
That is crazy tech. Wait, but is it visible to the human eye?
No. Again, it's one of those things that's only visible
Because
to...
a lot of the biofluorescence we can see, but
Correct.
not all of it.
Yeah. But yeah, so this one unfortunately not. And they don't know the exact purpose of the biofluorescence in
Toes,
bats.
baby. Twinkle toes.
No, right? That's how they find a mate.
That's also their new name.
Twinkle toes.
No more Mexican free-tailed bat. The twinkle toes
Twinkle toe bat. Yeah. So scientists think that it may play a role, obviously, in some form of communication, because I guess that's just the default of we don't know what else it's going to do. I guess it's going to be communicate, possibly
Right, 'cause-
aiding in mate attraction, social signaling of some sort. Who knows? So,
They're just...
like,
Well, I'm just imagining, like,
fly
them doing sign.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, they're doing sign with their little feet. Or, like, they're just flicking each other off, but it's visible to each other during the... one buzzes by the other one too close, and he's...
Yeah.
Like
Just one glowing toe.
One glowing toe.
One glowing toe. Just the toe bristles too.
That'd be so cute. Did I just get flicked off by a bat? Like just.
Yeah, you did. You need a UV light to see it though, but you did. So anyway, that's why I was teasing Laura all week, because as soon as I saw the birds thing, and then the story that I was reading, it said something about in recently discovered bats. I was like, no, did I miss that? And so I started Googling. Yeah, sure enough, I missed it.
Like,
So,
right, we know that some mammals. It doesn't surprise. I bet so much more does than we know.
oh heck yeah, yeah, that we just can't see.
Because I thought you were going to tell me what I just found out is that squirrel skulls, specifically their bones, biofluoresce pink.
Why?
Don't know.
So
Pink.
weird.
Like different than anything else we've ever like.
So
squirrel bones
a
are
dead
pink.
squirrel is cooler than a live squirrel?
Kinda. It just
I
depends
mean-
on like.
Or does it just biofluorescence so much they just have this pink aura about them?
Yeah, from that's bones. Just.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just so razzed up. They're just glowing from the inside.
The stress influences their bones.
Yeah, right.
Just-
Oh, goodness. So anyway, yeah, you got a machete and arapaima, and then toe
bats
bristles.
glow. Twinkle toes.
And twinkle toes
bats.
there. Yeah. That's some of the most exciting nature news I think I've had, except for aliens whenever they finally found out they were real.
Except for aliens.
Always gonna go back. Aliens, guys. But I will say, twinkling bat toes, hands down,
It's up
the
there.
coolest thing. And again,
Yeah.
I even said bats would be so much cooler. Listen, guys, bats
And
are
you're
still
like,
one of my
I knew it.
favorite freaking animals, man. They're just so cool, and people hate them for no reason. So awesome. Now I've already gone down to Austin to see him coming out on the Congress Bridge this summer. Luke and I have so many reminders set up on my phone because the largest bat colony on the planet is here in Texas, and you can get
Austin,
tickets.
right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, outside of the city of San Antonio, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, San Antonio. And so my son and I, we're gonna go down and see
now
it this
you
summer.
need UVE torches or whatever.
Right,
Like,
right. A
yeah,
UV
yeah,
torch
yeah.
would be like, look at all their twinkling toes. Like, their twinkling toes are amazing. So yeah, bats just got way cooler. Now
Sweet.
I keep talking about how I want a bat tattoo. Now I gotta do it. You know how you can do the ink that you can see it under the black light?
Yep.
Totally adding that to their
100%.
toes. I'm just gonna add little toe bristles.
Twinkly toes.
Right?
They
And
touch it,
no
I'll just be
one,
like,
yeah, no one will freaking get it. I'll just be like, I mean, I don't go to clubs.
But you go. I was just gonna say, here's what it would happen, and this is when people would find out. It's when Katy goes to laser bowling.
Because I don't go to clubs.
You're
I'm
not clubbing.
36. I don't go to laser.
But you go to laser bowling with
That's
all Luke
so
and his friends in
accurate.
high school.
Yeah.
And like just glowing bat tattoo.
Why does the bat's toe hair glow? Listen, kids, did you know
Let me
that
school
they're-
you right now.
Yeah, right. And then I throw a strike. Yeah.
Boom! Just
Yeah.
coolest mom
I'm just-
ever.
Mom
Yeah.
out. Just done.
Just
I listen. If that happened, I would retire from being
it's
a
the
mom.
height.
I'd be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you're
You
on your
peaked.
own forever now, kid.
You
I
peaked.
peaked right then. Like, that's it. Oh,
All right, we better get on to
goodness.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, we need to talk dinosaurs. Because listen, as awesome as toe bristles are of toes, twinkle toes bats are, gosh, I am so excited for this. So like we said, this is part of the could you whatever. We've had could you ride that, could you fight that, could you be that, could you measure it, all these could yous. Could you train that is now this one. And Laura and I, we each have 3 dinosaurs. We're going to say what the dinosaur is, what we could train them for, and then kind of break it down. We have a different variation of how we're gonna break it down here.
Yeah, because
So,
we went into this one blind, guys. We don't know what each other have, and we didn't talk about the structure. We just said choose a dino, and what would they do and why.
I'm so excited. Okay,
I'm pretty excited too. I think you're gonna laugh.
this is gonna be a good episode. All right. So the first one, I'll go ahead and I'll start. So this is going to be the Compsognathus or the Compies. However you say it. The Compies.
What? Taylor's failed us.
Taylor. Compies. That's okay. That's okay.
It's okay.
I did say, I was like, because there's no way that we train them.
That would be freaking crazy.
Same thing. Yeah. All right. Commonly known as Compies. If you guys think, reference here, the third Jurassic Park movie, and then, the third one at the beginning.
When they eat the toddler.
Then when they eat the toddler. And then later on, they end up following the kid with Dr. Grant and the van and stuff like that. You're like, oh, Compies. They're super, super tiny. They're very agile theropod dinosaurs that lived during the late Jurassic period, so around 150 million years ago. These dinosaurs are roughly the size of a turkey, if not a little bit smaller, measuring no more than about 3 feet or 1 meter in length, and weighing only about 6 pounds. Despite their small size, they are remarkably fast and nimble, making them one of the more agile dinosaurs of their time. Their fossils suggest that Compies were definitely social animals, often found in groups and likely ran in packs. They are believed to have been scavengers and probably also hunters of small animals, feeding on a diet that included insects, small vertebrates, possibly plant materials if they needed to. They had sharp teeth. However, even though they were sharp, they weren't specialized for tearing through large prey as some larger theropods.
Yeah.
Again, more so suited for catching and consuming smaller animals.
Yeah, their their muzzles were really slender. They didn't have the jaw power. It's just sharp, but not strong.
Yeah, which again points back to they were probably more scavengers than anything because it's already dead. Don't need much jaw strength to fight anything if it's dead. Compies were a member of the theropod group, like I said, which includes some of the other well-known dinosaurs such as the T-Rex, Velociraptor, and the such. While other theropods, Compies had bipedal locomotion. If go back to our first dinosaur episode 2 weeks ago, and you'll hear a little bit more about that, meaning that they walked on 2 legs, which contributed to their speed and agility. Do you have any other natural history to add?
I guess if you didn't see Jurassic Park and you don't have the opportunity to look up what they look like, Katie said like the size they were, the length is a little misleading because there's so much tail. Yeah. They're only a foot tall, but long because of that tail. And then, like Katie said, originally people thought they were probably only chicken size, but then they realized actually it's probably more like a turkey, so between 6 to 12 pounds. And they have a really long neck, which comes into play later for me, which it's very bendy and slender, and they have really tiny forearms, kind of picture the T-Rex, and really strong back legs. They're one of the smallest known dinosaurs ever. And I found that I didn't find the scavenger thing, actually. I found that they thought that they were probably most likely insect and lizard eaters.
Oh, interesting.
And they found, at first they weren't sure what this was, but in a fossil, they know they were carnivores, at least sometimes.
Yeah, most of the time.
Because they found a lizard skeleton inside the rib cage of one of the fossils, which was like a species they'd never even found before. So they found that inside the belly. They're so quick. Imagine like a bird, just snapping up stuff.
Yeah, it is very very
long,
quick,
right?
And
really long, like a crane. I just picture them very much like a crane.
Yes, very much so. Okay, so what would I train them to do then? I would train and rent them out to Amazon for city urban delivery services. So.
That'd be so cute.
Wouldn't it be cute? So their training focus, I broke it down.
At the door.
No, right? I mean, terrifying, but also
I would keep them. You'd have to have some good insurance on your compies because I think people would just keep them.
Right.
Come on in.
Yeah, get you. Yeah. All right, so training focus for them would be on their speed and navigation, following routes and identifying locations, and then teamwork for efficiencies. So how are we going to accomplish this task? 1, basic training and commands. All right, we're going to start with the basics here. So imagine trying to get a group of tiny, speedy dinosaurs to follow your commands in the middle of a bustling city. What could possibly go wrong other than everything? Because think of it, because you got to remember too, we said turkey. So again, think modern birds.
Not thick like a turkey. Slender.
Yeah. Slender, yeah.
Just tiny little ostriches.
Yes.
Ostriches the size of a turkey.
Yes. So, of course, we'd use positive reinforcement to train our compies.
Not gonna hurt them.
Yeah, zap them. That's what they do so much. They have the little shock stick thing, like the cattle prodders. No, positive reinforcement, because that has been proven to work out better in the long term than negative reinforcement. Basically, we would send them to a compy camp for training.
Compy camp!
Okay, so remember we talked about in the Cosmic Critter episodes how they would take stray dogs and cats and then they would pick the best of the best. That would have to be the same situation because you would have to figure out
like a guide dog program.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Only the best get to
Only
the Amazon
best.
delivery.
So it'd be go, stop,
I actually
drop.
think you need to bypass the Amazon part. You're going to start your own fleet business.
Yeah, right.
DHL or whatever. You know what I
Right.
mean? Somebody who is only involved in the shipping part or the delivery part. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think you can branch away and then you don't have to share anything with them.
Right? Yeah. Just take more profit for myself because it's freaking compies. That'd be amazing.
You need to come up with a good slogan.
Dude, as you're talking, I will find a slogan.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So, the idea is simple, of course. For training, compies love food and compies love teamwork, so we give them a tasty treat every time they follow a command. Sit, hot dog. Like, sit, here's a hot dog. Sit, here's a hot dog. I mean, pretty easy. The real trick, though, is harnessing those social instincts. Compies were pack animals, of what we're guessing. Think of it as a dino group project. Instead of barking at orders at them like a drill sergeant, we'd have to make it a cooperative effort because if you think about if you're training anything that works in groups, it's very much training the pack.
Well, plus your business will be very limited to the size of packages if they can't work together.
Right? No, exactly.
Because a 6-pound animal, that's half the size of my cat.
Yeah, that's half the size of my
So, like, I don't know what size boxes they're going to be sending.
Right?
Do you have it figured out? What's the harness situation? Like, how were they?
Oh, hold on.
Okay,
yeah,
good,
we're getting there. We're getting there.
Good.
So the second step, after we do basic commands with them, we pick out the best ones that we're like, all right, these guys are the ones that are going to work out best so far. We're going to have to then map out the routes and then start getting them used to, like, again, think of a driving test. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, Camp Compy Part 2 would be like miniature city. We'll have everything set up.
You've got them all on leads, like a dog walker.
Right.
You know, like you
get them,
take them on the route.
Right. Get them going. We'll outfit the compies with tiny headsets that would provide real-time video feedback. And then
those cat collars that they have, you know what I mean? Like the little camera
Exactly.
ones.
Because that way we could see, but then we could also communicate.
Proof of delivery.
Yeah, but we could also communicate with them for signals to be like, no, drop that child. Don't eat his leg. You know, things like that. That we'd have to
the insurance on your business, my gosh. You'd have to be paying so much money in insurance. Yeah, I know. I'll start a delivery business, with bobcats. You know what I mean? Like, if people, you could, the liability insurance.
Right. And compies, like bobcats, for the most part, want to stay away from people. Where compies have actively, at least in movie portrayals, they have actively sought to eat things. Small children, dogs, things like that. So anyway,
like if you guys have ever seen, like a flock of chickens attacking something, it's terrifying.
Right? No, it really is. It really is. I mean, it's not as bad as Canadian geese, but I mean, birds are birds. So once they've mastered the basics, we'd move into real-world city streets. With their headsets, compies are essentially their own navigators, equipped to avoid traffic, hopefully dodge pedestrians, and go ahead and do their delivery route. The third part then would have to be training them for that collective group and making sure that they understand the collective. So let's say you have a string of 10 compies, you know what I mean? And by compy 2, the delivery is already made. Everybody's going to get a treat. So really, the 10th compy probably, makes out more than anybody because they're probably not going to have to do much, but they're going to get a treat every time. But again, it's like cooperative effort. As far as the packages go, it would either need to be by mouth or by harness because they would have to be smaller packages. But think of it as like an urban delivery.
I was just thinking like an Iditarod situation where you've got a pack of compies all hooked up to a sledge and they're running.
Just pulling it.
Pulling a big box.
That'd be so cute.
Just running really fast.
Right? Yeah, so maybe that's it. Maybe because I was thinking more of, you think of a big city and you think of people on bikes, like, you know what I mean, that are doing
I'm not
envelopes.
thinking anything too big, because in New York City it's not like you're gonna deliver a giant A package to somebody's apartment.
A couch,
right?
Yeah.
But you know, you could
But the sled
you could
situation,
go bigger if they had a sledge,
if you
or like a skateboard, you know.
I like how for a Compies, it doesn't even need to be big, just like skateboard size, like
with wheels, something with wheels. Yeah.
Yes, that they could just pull.
Either that, or some type of. I just pictured, you know, they have those things for dogs that lose their legs, right? Okay. No, listen, reverse it. So essentially, they have a dolly under their tiny little arms, and they're just pushing a dolly really fast. It'd be so cute, like a little teeny one, like a foot tall, but helps
because their legs are just like
work smarter, not harder. They're not hurting their little bodies or their backs. They're pushing a dolly.
Pushing a dolly.
And they don't even have to hold it because it's a rig, right? Like it's hooked over to their, you know.
But it's gonna look like they're pushing it because it's way funnier.
They're
just Compies running through the whole thing. So as far as logistics then go, running this urban delivery service, besides the high insurance premiums on all of this.
I was gonna say, like, why? I'm just trying to think of the benefits here of why a Compy and not.
Because they're small.
On gas?
Because they are small. Because you figure
not taking up traffic.
Yeah, cut through traffic, cut through pedestrians, jump over. I mean, they're very agile. They could jump up high. You know what I mean? Go under
just
chain
go up
link.
Someone's fire escape. At the window,
and then done. Or go under chain link fences. The possibilities of something that tiny, would be super duper fast.
What it also reminds me of is Robin Hood Men in Tights. They had the fennec fox messages. They had it was a tiny little fennec fox. It was fox messengers. Same thing. Same situation.
Yes.
Basically, you could literally just retrofit the postal service to be Compies, and it'd probably be faster. 100%.
I guarantee it.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, I guarantee you it would be faster with Compies. Again, minus you'd have to make sure that they would be fed enough to not nibble on a toddler's leg as they're running through the city. But
stuff like a rat that they find and get poisoned or something.
Or a dog. Or all the stray cats.
That's a little big.
Yeah. Stray cats. The only challenges that I would really see, again, other than the urban hazards of trying to avoid hazards like open manhole covers, aggressive street dogs, and other urban obstacles, would be weather. So, you know what I mean? Because if it's
maybe not New York City, maybe someplace like LA.
Yeah.
Where it's more predictable weather. I'm so excited to continue on your train since I have them too.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Was just making sure that it's Compy delivery service. So that was my first Dinosaur of Crigi train. That would be Compies for an urban delivery service.
All right, this is so perfect because although we have the same dinosaur, it's not raining on my parade because, like Katy and I always do, our best ideas come through collaboration, and I am quick on your heels of what's going to happen to all your failed Compies from your program. They're going to come to me because I'm going to have Compy critter control.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's a pest control service.
Yes.
For the Compies who don't listen to directions well, but are more in tune with their instincts, which is just elimination.
Yeah, that's right.
So all I need to do is train for recall. What I want is pest control. I would have a small pack that you could hire for large-scale pest control jobs in an urban setting. So I'm just the other half of the business. They would be trained to kill, but not necessarily eat what they find because I'd be slightly worried about chemicals and stuff like that.
Well, and they get so full so fast.
Right. I just need them. So it's basically the same concept as a rat terrier that they had back in the day. They would send in the dogs. The dogs would catch the rats and you'd get paid. So same thing. My little Compies are going into apartment buildings, old condemned
warehouses.
buildings.
Yeah.
And they're perfect for this for two reasons: their speed and their agility. So the agility is obvious. They're bendable, slinky. Like Katy was saying, they can get in places because of their size. But I just wanted to talk about their speed a little bit too. They found that, like a lot of the theropods, that Compies had mostly hollow bones, so they're very light. Their overall shape, long tail, which acted as a counterbalance, basically is leading scientists to believe that they were the fastest dinosaur.
Yeah.
Estimates range that they ran from 25 to 40 miles per hour, which just in some context, an ostrich can run at 35, and they're the fastest. So
okay, again though, imagine in your situation, or mine, imagine that package or going to get those rats at 40 miles an hour. But like zigzagging through people and stuff like, dude, it'd be so efficient.
Well, and just go in, clear the building, done. And their neck is long and flexible, which is perfect to get in all the hidey holes that rats would be trying to find. And they're perfect for sneaking in. And they have really long legs in relation to their body with 3 toes, very much like an ostrich. So clearly their body was made for running. But because of that small head with their really sharp teeth, it's like scientists said, they think that they just ate bugs and small vertebrates, which is fine. Because like I said, I don't need them to devour.
Eat. Yes.
Right? I just need them to grab that rat by the back of the neck, shake it to break its neck, and then continue on. Okay?
I just need you guys to break its neck, and then you can move on.
Or bring it back. Well, okay, I guess I would have to train, like,
recall.
Kill it, bring it back, because I need to collect the carcasses. Otherwise, people are not going to be pleased with that.
But imagine
we come
that
in, clear
job.
it, and leave the bodies.
Imagine that job, though. You just have to sit on the floor with a garbage bag. You probably sit there, scroll on your phone.
I would be.
And then just be like, all right, cool. And then just drop it, drop it, and then just drop it in the bag.
And then I would give it, if I don't see a compy after 20 minutes, I blow a whistle, job done. Like, we're clear. We're clearing, we bring them back, donezo. So, compy critter control. Therefore, all your failed. Yours needs to be a little bit more heavily trained.
Yeah.
Mine are just go kill it and come bring it back.
Yeah. I wonder.
They're just and I think it would be a better pest control service than something like a dog or a cat because of the speed and agility here. Like,
oh yeah.
They'd just be able to function in a building like that better than a dog and a cat.
Mm-hmm. So I was just looking this up too because I was like, all right, how would they find them? Paleontologists and scientists believe that compies actually had a relatively good sense of smell, especially compared to other dinosaurs, as evidenced by the size of the olfactory bulb in the brain, which is responsible for processing scent. So that would be like, yeah, because they're saying they think T-Rexes actually had an amazing sense of smell, which would make sense if their eyesight wasn't all that well.
Right, and if they are scavengers, they're smelling for dead stuff.
Exactly. And so that would be rats. So the compy's kind of the same thing compared to their size. It actually shows that part of their brain is decently developed. So yeah, sense of smell, find it. Like you said, just snap its neck and bring it back. Alrighty. My next one, I'm going to talk about the pterosaurs or the pterodactyls.
Okay. Not a dino.
Not a dinosaur. Correct.
It's fine.
But
just from our last episode.
It is.
Dino,
not a dino. Drink. But I did want to talk about these because I was like, perfect.
Oh, totally.
All right. So pterodactyls, pterosaurs, commonly known as pterodactyls, like I said, were flying reptiles during the Mesozoic era alongside dinosaurs, with wingspans ranging from the size of a small bird to the massive, how do you say that? Cachalocodus? I don't know. They're huge.
Oh, the Quetzalcoatlus or whatever that is.
Yeah.
That thing was huge.
They're a wingspan of 33 feet or 10 meters.
Nope.
Which is insane. Pterosaurs, yeah, they were definitely the airborne giants of the time. Again, that's a reptile. That's a
I literally cannot. I would have a heart attack if I saw something
huge
like
reptile.
That.
That's so big.
Their beak was almost that long too. It was huge.
Yes.
Just spear you and
right.
No, it's too bird-like.
So despite often being confused with dinosaurs, like we said, they are close relatives, but definitely not a dinosaur. Pterosaurs had bat-like wings formed by a membrane of skin stretched between their elongated forefingers and the body. They were excellent flyers, capable of gliding and soaring for long distances, which would make them the perfect candidates for me training them to be a flying drone show replacement. So
wait, did they fly at night?
They are now.
Oh, okay.
So whether they want to or not, yeah. I just trained freaking compies to do an urban delivery service, Laura. We're not talking about practicalities here. So again, we're not training these guys to deliver packages. Could you imagine a dinosaur?
Also, air delivery, yeah. It's just the stork situation, right? They're dropping babies. Just
3-foot wingspan, just reptile dropping off your baby.
It's like an aircraft carrier, but it's a reptile. Just open up and unload them.
Forget coming home from the hospital and all the hazards of driving in a car. Trust us with our reptiles with your new baby.
That would be so
33-foot wingspan. Just whoosh.
They can carry 2 at a time. Twins is not a problem.
Quadruplets, freak. Like,
yeah, it's true.
God. They can carry so many babies. Like,
so, that's another unit of measurement. How many babies a pterosaur can carry?
So many. So many babies.
Sorry, drone shows, not baby delivery.
Drone
He thought the insurance was bad for the compies. You can't even imagine the pterosaurs.
You don't even know what's coming. You don't even know what's coming. My whole thing shows that I hate insurance companies, essentially. So this time, again, they're not delivering packages. They're focusing on their true aerial potential, which is creating spectacular drone shows. So imagine thousands of pterosaurs flying in intricate formations in the night sky with dazzling synchronized displays, like lit up and everything.
You're forcing a daytime animal to go out completely blind, covered in lights. Like, just the amount of training required so they didn't all crash and die.
But imagine how amazing it would be.
You would have gone through so many pterosaurs to get to that point. Like, space exploration all over again.
Right?
Listen, there was pterosaurs that they crawled before you could walk. You know, like,
oh, goodness.
The carnage.
You got to start somewhere. I mean, we start with cats, in space, and then
I know. You'll just buy them like night vision goggles. Strap them on their little faces.
I don't even know how good their vision really is, like, because we don't really know.
Surely in daytime, probably.
Hold on, wait. Let's look this up. Hold on, wait.
I'm sure they have no idea. How would you ever tell such a thing from the anatomy?
I don't think.
Fossil. Probably just most educated guesses. I just can't think of a reptile like a flying in the nighttime. I mean, some animals.
So it actually does say some pterosaurs were nocturnal, including the Anergothanid pterosaur and the Ramaphoricus.
Perfect. That's the ones you're using then.
So there you go. But let's see how big those two were.
I feel like you need medium sized or small.
Yeah, it says that they were a little bit bigger than modern birds. That's not really a...
Well, you could have thousands then in there.
Yeah, thousands of... I mean, you have thousands of drones. So, first task then would be aerial coordination. Second task would be getting them used to the lighting and effects.
My gosh, yeah. You quickly find out whether or not they were subject to seizures.
Yeah, right. So training pterosaurs for this task would involve a combination of positive reinforcement and repetition, of course. Again, think of training a pigeon today. Obviously a little more complex than that. But imagine flying a pigeon at night. The training that would have to go into that. It would be interesting. So start with simple formations. Begin with easy, slow-moving formation like loops and zigzags, and gradually build up to more complex patterns like swirling spirals and interlocking shapes. We would use sound cues using like different auditory cues that we can train the pterosaurs to fly in sync with music, or lighting cues similar to how drone shows work today. So, okay, again, think of the best movie composer ever, John Williams, right? Yeah. He's done the Star Wars, the Jurassic Parks, like so much.
Yes.
So imagine that soundtrack, but it's pterosaurs lit up, flying through the sky.
A bunch of little Petries is all I'm picturing.
Right? Would be amazing.
So
it'd be amazing.
And so cool.
So the logistics of it, obviously scale of operation. Once we've perfected the training, we can scale up operations for massive shows depending on how well they do.
So much more environmentally friendly.
Right? Yeah, way better. So imagine citywide drone shows replaced with pterosaur performance during major events or celebrations. training management, and of course, safety protocols, because we need probably some safety barriers to ensure they don't crash into the audience or other performance. But again, think of the things that happen in drone shows nowadays. They've had some pretty big instances recently.
Oh, for sure.
That have happened. So yeah, so again, some challenges that we would face, weather conditions again. But again, you would still face the weather conditions with the drone show.
Yeah.
And then again, I did bring up the nighttime flying that primarily
that's no longer a problem.
Yeah, we're gonna bypass that. But then again, safeties, make sure that they're well rested and well fed so they don't get distracted mid performance and give into their natural hunting instincts and take off a small child or Katy size adult. So
Katy just assumes that all dinosaurs eat humans.
I mean, eventually I'm sure they would get used to it, but a lot of the pterosaurs they're reptiles. They're going to be being like snack, bite size. Yeah. So yeah, pterosaurs.
That's amazing.
Drone show.
That would be a really cool drone show. I've never even seen a drone show.
They have some around DFW here quite a bit. They're pretty cool.
That's cool. They definitely are way more environmentally friendly than the fireworks, even though I do love fireworks so much.
Me too, yeah.
All right, next one. So this one was inspired by, there is a book, I can't believe you won't know this. And do you remember this is a whole series of books called Dinotopia?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If you guys, listeners out there, if you have not ever read a Dinotopia book or looked at really, because it's art, you must go out right now. And it is incredible artwork. Yeah. And it is geared towards children, but anyone can enjoy it. And it's just like this episode where it takes science, but then take it to the next level. Like, what if dinosaurs lived alongside of people?
Yeah.
Which and the art is just incredible.
Yeah.
So I was looking at that book trying to get some inspiration, and I found the job that I wanted, and then I was like, okay, I just got to find the perfect dinosaur for this job. Here comes the dinosaur to you. Okay. This dinosaur is called Psittacosaurus.
Oh, yeah. I know this one.
lujatonense.
Yep.
So Psittacosaurus lujatonense. Psittacosaurus is one of the parrot lizards. Mm-hmm. And that genre, the genus, is one of the best known dino genre with hundreds of individuals found in different life stages, some with skin. I mean, they know everything about Psittacosaurus dinosaurs. They've just found so many. So they were a type of ceratopsin, which is the same thing as a triceratops, but instead of the 4 legs, horns, this is before they ever existed, because these are from the early Cretaceous, mostly probably modern day Eastern Asia. They were bipedal, so they stood upright on 2 legs. So they were beaked, which is what makes all ceratopsins. They have that, and it literally, they're called a parrot lizard because their face looks like a parrot, right? It's got a beak, and it's also like a squat, compact head.
Yes.
Their head is wider than they are long, so it's just square. They look like they have square heads.
Yeah, it really does, yeah.
And then they had flared cheekbones, so you just have to look up a picture of this, listeners. It's a weird looking dinosaur. It's
and if you guys go to YouTube, I'll put these pictures of the dinosaurs as we're talking and doing the video. Search up the Wildly Curious podcast on YouTube, and then you'll see the video of Laura and I talking, and I'll go ahead and I'll put up all the videos for these two. So
they were somewhere around. So there's a lot of different species of Psittacosaurus. I'm specifically focusing on lujatonense, but in general, this species was around 6.5 feet long and maybe around 3 feet tall. So not a very big dinosaur.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is good for what I want. And there is wide speculation of how much this dinosaur weighed, but most of what I found said probably around 40 pounds.
Okay.
So we're talking medium-sized to large dog.
Okay, yeah.
They may have had bristles on the upper side of their tail, as that was found on a fossil, but they don't know if it was bristles or if it was like webbing in between. Something was on its tail.
Okay, yeah, because that's the picture I've seen of all of them, and it has that webbing. It's almost
like a tiny fan.
Yeah, like it has that sail, but it's like just on the tail, which is...
Just the tail.
The tail.
But some people were like, or maybe it was like porcupine bristle, like who knows? It's some kind of bristle structure.
Yeah.
And small forelimbs, not as small as the Compy, more sturdy. They could grasp things with those hands and hold on to them to eat, but only scratch their tummy and not, they actually couldn't reach their own mouth with their hand.
Yeah.
So pretty limited.
Yeah.
So, like I said, a lot is known about this type of dinosaur. Their brain is actually pretty well known, and they're thought to have an EQ, not to be confused with IQ, but an EQ score about the same as a T-Rex, which is only slightly lower than a modern bird. And that's a lot higher than a Triceratops. Right?
Yeah.
So Triceratops were pretty dumb.
Yeah.
But these guys were like fairly intelligent. They were herbivores, no teeth, just sliced with their beaks. And they actually had stones in either their stomach or gizzard, but since they never found internal organs, they don't know which.
Yeah.
Like a bird to help
Yeah.
grind those food.
Yeah.
And because of the shape of the beak and those stones, leads them to think that they were probably a seed and nut eater. Like a
Yeah,
parrot.
which would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. They've also found that they were quadrupedal as babies. And they know that because of the length of bones.
Huh.
And then eventually became upright as adults, which is really interesting and weird.
Yeah.
But they were
Yeah,
it's like us, right? We are
Yeah.
quadrupedal as babies.
Yeah, but our arms don't get such significantly shorter because we're just like, we don't really need these as
Yeah.
we get older. Like,
Well,
only
it's not
to scratch
that,
our bellies.
It's apparently that what they found in these juveniles that they found is that the arms and the legs grow at the same rate for a while, and then all of a sudden their arms stop growing and their legs grow rapidly.
Interesting.
So it's just like a
yeah, right?
I don't
so
know.
bizarre.
And they're shown to be, they believe that there's been lots of evidence to show that they were likely gregarious, meaning they were in groups. Juveniles have been found in groups of different ages. So probably like a colonial nest situation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Knowing all of that, what would I have them do? I would have them be nanny dinosaurs.
Oh my gosh.
I am looking for any excuse to not have to watch.
Right?
I love her. But it'd be great to be able to send her in the backyard when I can go do some laundry, right?
Right?
Here come. That's why
Give
this
her to the-
dinosaur comes in. Give her to Psittacosaurus.
Yeah.
So I would train a young adult. Okay, we'd start with young adults, not babies, not young adults, to act as a nanny for young children. We would have them. They would prevent a toddler from leaving the yard, protect them from danger, keep them away from dangerous objects, and alert an adult to strangers and any other needs. Like just make an alarm call if a toddler has a need that's not being
Laura,
met.
what I think you just need is a border collie.
Yeah,
'Cause I think.
well, they were basically like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get what you're looking for now is just a border collie.
I want
A herding
something-
dog.
Well, and I think that my goal for this is it's basically a combination between a donkey, because they basically donkeys
Yeah.
do this for kids.
Yeah, they do. They do. They definitely do.
And guide dogs. What turns me away from the whole border, so herding dogs are meant to herd. And nip and actively. I want
Yeah.
a passive nanny until they're needed, and then they step in, right? Like
Passive
they're
nanny.
eating their seeds,
Yeah.
keeping an eye on the kids. Something goes down, they're ready for it.
Yeah.
So why did I choose this dinosaur above all others? 2 reasons. 1, size. I don't want anything. It's not a huge dinosaur.
No,
It's really
yeah.
the perfect size to be able
Yeah.
to keep it inside your house or outside. But the main reason I chose it is because there is evidence of post-hatching care.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So Maiasaura gets all the credit as the good mother dinosaur, which they were.
Yeah.
But there is no evidence to show that they ever cared for anyone else's young, just their own.
Okay.
I need a dinosaur that would care for young other than their own.
Yeah.
Okay. So back in the early 2000s, they found a bone bed, and most of these dinosaurs are found, like I said, in modern day Eastern Asia, specifically
Yeah.
in China, which is what this dinosaur is named after, the bone bed that they found it in. So they found a bed of juveniles and one older Psittacosaurus skeleton.
Okay.
So that at that time they were like, oh, look, another parent dinosaur. Evidence
Yeah.
of parental care. That's great.
Yeah.
Fast forward 14 years. So in 2014, somebody was like, we know a lot about these dinosaurs now. We have seen them at all different life stages. They think that this is not the case. They think that the adult was actually a babysitter and not a parent. And here's why. Because the adult was young. They actually you can look it up online. They know the size and ratio of ages from hatchling to 11. Like, they've got the
Jeez.
whole spectrum.
Yeah.
There's the whole thing. So this adult was probably only 4 to 5 years old. And through tons of past research and examination of the life cycle of this dinosaur, they found that they probably didn't start reproducing until they were 8 or 9 years old.
Okay.
So it's not a parent, it's a helper.
Yeah.
An older sibling, a cousin, something. So
the neighborhood babysitter.
The neighborhood babysitter, right?
Yeah.
So perfect. I will hire that
right.
dino. So it's that way there's not just the instinct to care for what's mine. So as this young adult ages, it's not, oh, well, this isn't my baby. Like, it's just the group. And bring your kids, friends over. Like, this is a group nanny, right? We can have the whole neighborhood being watched or whatever. Have a little co-op with your nanny dinosaur.
And they're seed eaters, so unlike all of mine, they're not going to attack the children.
Yeah, your kid is not at risk from such a thing. And
unless they're a seed.
Right. Fun fact about this dinosaur too, this really doesn't have much to do other than maybe it would try and protect them. These dinosaurs are one of the only or early, there's very few evidence that mammals and dinosaurs ever really interacted that much.
Yeah.
They found the most perfect skeleton of this specific dinosaur being preyed on by an early mammal. And I'm talking, the skeleton is so cool. The hand of the mammal is wrapped around the forearm, and its teeth are embedded in a cheekbone or something. Jeez. It is locked forever in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And the reason why they know all of this stuff is so perfect is because you have to look this up. It's on PBS. This is considered Dinosaur Pompeii because some sort of volcanic eruption happened and froze everything. It's not just this species. Crazy. All the dinosaurs in the area, some are like sleeping, like they just dead-zo.
Yeah, we'll put some links up for you guys on Patreon so that you guys can see some more info.
And this is the only Psittacosaurus, so they specifically found that Lujatanense one doing the babysitting care. So that's why I chose that specific Psittacosaurus. Yeah. So yeah, nanny baby, hire it.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
I know. I loved researching this episode so much because I learned
me too.
So
it was fun.
Much.
Even though I went through the ridiculous route, I had a lot of fun researching.
Because you need the science to back it up.
Yes. Alrighty. So my last dinosaur that I have is, of course, my favorite, the Deinonychus, which is the real Velociraptor. So if I said
there are Velociraptors, but not the ones we picture.
No. So I said this in the last episode too, is that if you're thinking of Jurassic Park, what they call Velociraptors are actually the Deinonychus. It's just, I don't know, a Velociraptor sounds cooler. Velociraptors are way smaller, turkey size. They look about the same. They're feathered and stuff, so are Deinonychus, but think of it as Velociraptors are smaller. Deinonychus, though, are what you're picturing the Velociraptor, but they're covered in feathers and stuff. All right? So the Deinonychus is often thought as, like I said, the real-life Velociraptor, the fearsome predator from Jurassic Park, though it was larger, faster, and more capable than its movie counterpart. In real life, the Velociraptor, like I said, is about the size of a turkey. This agile bipedal carnivore lived during the early Cretaceous period, about 115 to 108 million years ago, and grew to about 10 feet in length and weighed about 165 pounds. So pretty big.
Yeah, pretty big.
It was a powerful predator known for its sickle-shaped claw on its second toe, which it used to slash and capture prey. AKA cassowary of today.
Yeah. Except that at least they're not actively going out trying to slaughter people.
You're right. Yeah, where these ones probably would. The Deinonychus was a highly intelligent and social predator, likely hunting in packs, much like modern-day wolves or lions. Unlike solitary reptiles, it used teamwork to bring down larger prey, making it one of the most advanced hunters of its time.
I imagine that there are a lot, actually, like painted dogs, right? Because their painted dogs are so smart.
Yes.
And the way they hunt together.
Yeah, very, very smart. But they also showed to use teamwork to bring down the larger prey. They did have a keen sense of vision, powerful sense of smell, and an agile body. The Deinonychus was capable of running at fast speeds, making it pretty much one of the biggest predators that could quickly track and capture prey.
Dude, if I hope I know where you're going. Okay, I'll die if I do.
Its large brain and advanced sensory systems, including the binocular vision and a strong sense of smell set it apart from many other dinosaurs, making it more akin to modern birds than the slow, lumbering creatures once thought to dominate the Mesozoic landscape. Deinonychus' agility, intelligent, social hunting strategies make it an ideal candidate for what I would train it for, and that is the intense field of search and rescue operations.
Oh, it's close. It's close to what I thought you were gonna do, but not
What
quite.
were you thinking?
It's gonna come up with mine.
Okay. All right. So we were trying the Deinonychus for search and rescue efforts in challenging environments.
Heck yes.
Given their speed, agility, and keen sense of coordination, these dinosaurs could become the go-to creatures for search and rescue operations in disaster zones, earthquake rubble, forest fires, mountain rescues, you name it. Here's the plan. Tracking. First task 1 is tracking and locating victims, navigating debris, and then 3 is the victim recovery and transport, because they're pretty big. Yeah. So how we train them? I mean, you guys
like you could in the Jurassic Park. Like, can they be ridden? Do you think? I guess it's probably like an ostrich, right?
Yeah. And now they're 165 pounds, 10 feet long. I mean, got to be able to somewhat ride them at least. So just like everything else, and you guys have seen Jurassic World, maybe it's not Chris Pratt level of training, Blue and everything like that, but again, positive reinforcement, social bonding, scent-based tasks would definitely be it. Pretty much like you would train an avalanche dog or something like that. Think of it that way.
Yeah.
You start with scent and sound training. Well, start with scent tracking, using familiar scents or scent trails from volunteers, human scents, for example. The Deinonychus would learn to follow a path, honing their natural ability to track down a target. We'll use food rewards to incentivize the successful scent detection, making it pretty much just like a tracking dog. So the agility and obstacle navigations, Deinonychus were highly agile, and so we'd focus on their ability to maneuver through obstacles.
Right. I think that's what make them different than search and rescue dogs, right? These guys could jump much higher, I'm assuming.
Oh my gosh.
I'm imagining them like going over rubble like water. Like it's just no problem.
Yeah, just no issues whatsoever. And you think of their size, and it's not that dogs are fragile, but compared to Deinonychus, dogs are fragile. You know what I mean? They're still part of that greater reptile group. They're dinosaurs, but they're still greater, a better reptile group. You think of crocodiles, alligators. How many times have you guys seen a video and half of a crocodile's jaw is just missing and they're just trudging on like it's nothing? So they're very, very, very hardy.
And like those claws could help grip, you know, like
or
rocky.
Slice through rubble or all kinds of things. So again, just like with the compies, we would definitely do cooperative team training. Because search and rescue often requires teamwork, we could train them to work with human handlers or other rescue animals, like a pack of Deinonychus.
Oh, geez. Yeah, and then the dogs just all get eaten.
Right.
You're like, oh, sorry.
So we would ensure that they would have to follow commands or ensure that they work in sync with human teams, whether it's a search team or a coordinated search effort. For rescue protocols, like for victims, we would start by teaching them how to gently carry small objects, which would simulate lifting injured people. Their natural instincts to use their claws to capture would be trained to handle objects delicately, ensuring that they can transport victims without harm.
Can you imagine? I'm just picturing myself. Let's say I'm lost. My car has driven off into the mountains. It's upside down. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm going to die. And I'm grateful to be being rescued, but I look out the window of my car and it's that
Deinonychus,
and then it smashes open my window and uses its toe knife to slit my seatbelt.
Right.
I would be like, like I don't know. It'd be pretty close to almost being worse than like.
Right.
Oh, I'm about to be eviscerated. I thought I was going to just die from being hanging upside down.
Yeah, just be like,
never mind.
Know what? Just go. Just leave. I'm good. I'll figure this out myself.
That's literally, I've seen 5 minutes of the Paw Patrol movie, but that's literally the first 5 minutes of the Paw Patrol movie is some guy is dangling off a bridge in his semi and one of the dogs comes down to save him and he's, no thanks, you're a dog.
I don't know. Again, it would be one of these things where if I was in that situation, I think I'd be like, F yes. If I'm going to die anyways, might as well go out by Deinonychus, my favorite dinosaur.
Yeah.
Maybe not ripped to shreds like they do in the movies and stuff, but you know, I mean, slow, painful death, sit upside down in a car, you know, I'll take my chances with the Deinonychus. But the scale of the Deinonychus, they're powered for the like at the scale of the operations, let's talk about that for a second. So the Deinonychus powered search and rescue fleet, I think, would be extraordinary because they show that how intelligent that they are. I think that it could be, you could scale it up to whatever you need it to. If it is avalanche, if it is whatever.
The cold, do we think?
Let me look here.
They're warm, probably, like we were talking about before. They could have been, whatever it is, not cold or warm-blooded. What is it? Cool-blooded or whatever they call it?
Meso, whatever it is.
Yeah, mesothermic.
Yeah,
so
mesothermic.
maybe they could handle some snow for short periods of time.
Yeah, it says primarily they think that they lived in subtropical and not in super cold climates. But again, just like anything else, you can train it. Give it like a little thermal vest.
You can get through. Oh yeah, maybe if they wore
like a heat vest.
I was gonna say, because if they were cold blooded, then a vest would do nothing. But unless it was a heated one,
yeah, a little puffy
Cotopaxi
vest.
Too. They got a little hood with the fur.
Yeah, right. So again, though, each Deinonychus would have to wear a GPS collar, be equipped with communication devices, just like we would for the compies, ensuring that we could track their movements.
And like a self-destruct button, so that if stuff started going really wrong.
Just like, okay.
Your face. Okay.
Let's just not explain this one. And done.
Eliminated.
But again, though, being able to send them into, think of like the hazmat of huge disaster zones and stuff, asbestos, all that stuff that comes up. Send the dinosaurs in. Don't send.
Well, also the atmosphere was different then too. And the radiation. Maybe they'd be fine with a little bit more radiation than people. Yeah.
So the other things to consider, obviously, but they would use all their senses, incredibly smart, agile, like I said, safety protocols. While Deinonychus were skilled, they need to be kept safe too. This was another one, like the compies, we'd need to make sure that they remained well rested and properly fed so that they could recover people and not recover bodies and enjoy them. Obviously, some of the challenges navigating the hazardous terrain, even though they could move safely and they are very agile, we'd still have to be careful in extreme conditions like avalanche and stuff like that. But again, I'm pretty confident with proper training we could do it. So anyway, Deinonychus, search and rescue team. That's my third one.
All right. It's not crazy similar, but it's kind of similar-ish. Okay, so my dinosaur is called Borealopelta. I'm going to send it to you now.
Okay.
There's my beast.
There's my beast. Yeah.
So Borealopelta, meaning northern shield, like boreal, Canada, and then pelta for shield. This is such a cool dinosaur. I've been talking about this like all week to people. It was discovered in 2011, so it's a very recent dinosaur.
Yeah.
In Alberta, Canada, in an oil sands mine. So they were not expecting to find this dinosaur in sand because that would indicate the ocean, right?
Yeah.
So they found other dinosaurs here. They were like, oh, it's probably a plesiosaur. Nope. This one probably washed it. This was like a shallow sea, so it's probably a situation where it washed out after death. Or washed out and then drowned.
Oh, good.
One of the two. But the coolest part of this dinosaur is that it is the best preserved dinosaur of its size ever found. It is 3-dimensional with soft tissue.
Jeez.
Yeah. The chances of this happening, if you guys have to go back to our fossil episode, this is like a 1 in a billion chance.
Yeah.
Okay, because...
Yeah, dang.
And it's not a mummy, because actually sometimes mummified things are less... Because they're so shriveled and shrunken, it's hard to tell things. This is 3D fossil. Yeah, showing soft tissue.
That's crazy.
This guy lived in the early Cretaceous period in what's now Canada, in North America. It is a nodosaurid ankylosaur. So ankylosaur, most people know, it's the dinosaurs that are the armored dinosaurs.
Yep.
Typically, when people think of ankylosaur, though, they think of something with a mace tail. The nodosaurids are ones that did not have that. That's
what I was going to say. Yeah, this one doesn't have anything on its tail.
It's just a long, flexible tail.
Yeah.
But what did this thing look like for us listeners, or you listeners? It was 18 feet long, so it's a big dinosaur. And it weighed 1.3 metric tons, which is 2,866 pounds, which is about the size of a modern-day bison or female hippo. Much longer than those animals, but short and just beefy.
Beefier, stockier.
Like a lot more like a bison, but stretched out and short.
Okay.
Short, thick arms and legs. Narrow muzzle. Modern animals that have that type of narrow muzzle are called selective feeders, meaning that they eat very specific foods, which we'll come back to that. It had 3 bands of 6 spines running down its back, and it was covered in plates of armor called osteoderms. And it had, you'll see in the picture if you look up, it had these giant spines coming out of its shoulders. They're not bone, it's a spine, like the horns of a bull, but from its shoulder area.
Yeah.
From what they found, like I said, this dinosaur is so perfectly intact. They pretty positive it was reddish brown in color with counter shading.
That's
counter
crazy.
shading is a type of camouflage. It's dark on top, light on bottom. Camouflage indicates predation, which they have never been sure if this armor and spikes on dinosaurs, maybe that's just a display thing. For courtship and communication. No, camouflage is predator. So this is armor is defensive, probably.
Yeah.
To at least some degree. Because this animal's running around with some very large predators. And it was an herbivore. This dinosaur. You know how every once in a while I'm like, wow, we don't know anything as scientists about certain things. Like our own bodies. Human bodies are a mystery to us still.
Yeah.
But then you come upon, oh, we know literally everything about this niche topic. They opened up the stomach area. They found the stomach area of this dinosaur, and it contained ferns that were halfway through their growing season. So they knew that this dinosaur had eaten ferns within 1 to 2 hours before death during the summertime.
Jeez.
And there was charcoal bits in there, so it also showed that the area had recently been burned. They knew its last meal, and because of that narrow muzzle, selective feeder, so picture cow wide, eat anything. Deer, narrow, they choose what they want. So they think that this guy might have been very selectively eating ferns. It's a fern eater.
Yeah.
And it was, so just
sense.
like so specific.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is also the only one of this species ever found. This is the one and only.
Really?
Borealopelta. Yeah, Borealopelta.
Interesting.
Okay, so what would I train it to do? After talking with a friend, I feel like I have dual purposes. It's basically the same thing, but for 2 different organizations. This dinosaur can either be hold on, make sure I'm going to get my acronyms right. It's either going to be a PAD or a BHD, okay? PAD for police assisting dinosaur, or BHD for bounty hunting dinosaur. Okay, which is where I thought you were going to go with the Deinonychus.
Yeah, the Deinonychus.
Because, my gosh, a Deinonychus would be a really good bounty hunter dinosaur. It could search out people, snag them.
Hunt them down.
Right, that's what I'm saying, So really,
I choose to use my powers for good rather than evil on this one. Although I'd probably make more money as a bounty hunter.
So, for the most part, though, we're going to say it's probably a PAD, the police assisting dinosaur. This behemoth would be trained to assist police during various operations. It could help stop a car during a chase, ram a vehicle with these giant spikes.
Could you imagine hitting that, though, with your car? You're like, I'm going to get away. Wow.
Yeah, into the shoulder, because I'm going to have it stand sideways 18 feet long. And that shoulder spike that's coming out like 2 feet just straight through the grill, like, stopped.
Talk about a way worse of a spike strip than what we used to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they can carry heavy equipment because they're so big and strong, and they can smash doors. So why this specific dinosaur? And not any old ankylosaur, because they could all pretty much do the job. Strong, they all are. I'm going to say, so I do regret that this guy doesn't have a mace tail, because I think that'd be a little bit cooler, but we could certainly fit him with tail accessories to aid in different operations. All right? You would just create some sort of harness that had
just accessorize him, it's fine.
Steel balls on it. For smashing, it could have spike, whatever you need it to do, your operation, you fit it with the tail accessory.
Yeah, accessorize them, it's good.
But the reason why I specifically chose this one is because of the armored plates. Now, we know that all ankylosaurs had these armored plates, but because we find fossils and not soft tissue, all we find is the bone. We extrapolate, probably they've been covered in keratin, right? It would be weird if it was like a just straight bone, like a deer antler.
Yeah.
But it could be, it could have been. We never know until this dinosaur. This one it's covered in armor like an armadillo, besides the belly. So it's got the plates all along the back and all along the sides. This is such a niche job, but so cool. I want to talk to somebody who is a biomechanical paleontologist.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Such a cool job. So somebody basically who just figures out how dinosaurs worked, at the physics of it. So a biomechanical paleontologist at UCLA said, and I'm going to quote this thing could tank an F-150 going at speed. Okay.
That'd be insane.
Quote, all right? Here's how they know
insane.
that. Yeah. This was the first ankylosaur to show keratinized bony plates, and it was just, like I said, assumed before that. They actually found that the keratin, which is the stuff your fingernails are made out of, and what covers turtle shells, was 6.3 inches in some spots, which is way deeper than they thought it would be. Like, it's not just like a little bit, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So then, of course, they were like, all right, well, let's test these things like the Arapaima scales, right? What can these puppies take? So they calculated the force that these plates could withstand. They tested that with the models that they have, and they found that they could take 125,000 joules of energy per square meter, which doesn't mean much to most of us, but that is about the same as a high-speed car crash.
Yes.
So literally,
insane.
that's why he said it could stop an F-150 spike strip, a living spike strip to end high-speed car chases, and they'd be totally fine.
Yeah.
So the keratin does help distribute some of the force and is more flexible than bone. So it's not just going to crack on impact. It's going to bend and bow a little bit.
Yeah.
Plus,
Dang.
those areas get damaged, and keratin, you're like your fingernails or a turtle shell, it just flakes off. So damage, oh well, wait a few months, it'll be totally fine again. Good as new.
Yeah, right.
Basically,
he just needs some R&R. Yeah, some
yeah.
R&R and he's good. Back on the job.
Buff out his plates a little bit. And this totally makes sense because this guy lived at the same time in the same area of the world is Acrocanthosaurus, which was one of the largest theropods ever. So bigger than a giant T-Rex.
Yeah.
And so these plates seem to be able to have withstood the bite of such a large animal like that.
That's crazy, yeah.
So like they were like, whatever.
Yeah.
And not just that, because there's maybe it was just for that. Maybe the plates were so big to defeat the bite force, but also they really think that it was probably also made to withstand the fighting between males. Because that sort of impact, the impact of a high-speed car crash,
right?
That's not what's happening when a jaw is biting you.
Right.
That's when something slams into you. So we're just picturing these two tanks just ramming, and they don't have tails, so they got to be doing it with their bodies.
Yeah.
Just smashing into each other in the Canadian wilderness of the Cretaceous. Just badass.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my PAD. Could also help the bounty hunters. You need to stop a vehicle, stop it. You need to just have them lean against the door of a house. Poof, whatever you need. They're here to help in operations.
Just lean right there. You're good. Just
Or they also, their tail is not going to inflict as much damage as something like a mace tail, but it's also not going to do nothing either.
Yeah.
Right? A tail like that is still like, woof.
Yeah. Good night.
I was so excited about that dinosaur. I just thought it was so cool how much we know about it. So much specifics.
Yeah. That is awesome. That's a good one. All right, guys. That is our Could You Train That episode.
I feel pretty confident in our ability to do this. I'm ready to go into the compy business with you.
Yes, right? We'll go halvesies. Compy
If they bring them back, I don't want them to, but if they do, we're ready. We got our business plan all ready to go.
Right?
Just move to a city together.
Right?
And you'll take the delivery service and I'll do the pest control.
We are on it. So if anybody would like to be employees, can't take applications
It'll be a blast, I bet.
Dude, it would be so much fun.
And how cute, because I'm literally just imagining they have the personalities of cats.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit twitchy, maybe a little bit sassy, but also probably really chin scratches.
Yeah. Yeah. Gimme. Yeah.
Yeah. I just have a little compy curled up on my lap with its little head. That sounds great.
It does. Minus probably the nibbling if it got hungry or anything like that.
Oh, those needle teeth.
Yeah, right. All right, guys. Well, make sure you go check us out on YouTube. Like I said, just search the Wildly Curious podcast. You'll see this video with the dinosaurs on it, plus several of our other videos for this season and some for the last one. Also, make sure you go over and support us on Patreon so we can keep bringing you this content. And next week, we have another Cosmic Critter episode. And then we will continue
Katie's,
with...
right? It's yours?
Yeah, it's mine. Yeah, so I talk about my next one. So make sure you listen next week. Go check us out on Patreon, on YouTube to support us.
And if anybody wants to reach out and tell us, do you have a dinosaur that you're like, yeah, that's the one, I'm going to train it to do that. Because I was trying to crowdsource this to see what people said.
Yeah.
And there have been children's books written about this. A lot of people have imagined dinosaurs as helping firefighters with those long necks. You know?
Yeah, I imagine
Or like
so.
being living cranes.
Yeah.
I got the suggestion of course, velociraptors being taken into battle. And I was like, no, that's too easy and stupid. But yeah, tell us if you've got...
turkey size, so come on, guys.
Wrong dino.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know if you've got a cool one. I'd love to hear some different ones.
Yeah, and at least if you're listening to the podcast, there's that link that says send us a text, and it's anonymous, and so you can just hit that and then just send us a text, and it'll send us your ideas right away. We won't know who it is.
Yeah, or if you're listening on Good Pods, you can chime in and let us know
comment
that
on
way.
there too. Yep. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to our antics once again, as always, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.